If you fail here, no human will ever see your resume. Hello everyone. Let me tell you something honestly. Most AML resumes don't even get rejected because the candidate is bad or not smart. They get rejected because the resume doesn't even reach a human. Shocking, I know. Like seriously, it fails before anyone even reads it. And that's the most painful part, right? People keep doing projects, learning PyTorch, doing Gen stuff, building everything, but still no interviews. So in this video, I'll break it down properly. We'll talk about first thing is what bad AA resumes actually look like. Second, how hiring works behind the scenes so that you can align your resume to it. And third, what a strong AA resume should have in 2026 so that you actually start getting callbacks. If you are applying for AA engineer, ML engineer, data scientist, Gen AI roles, this video is going to help a lot. Before anything, understand one simple thing. Your resume only has one job. It's not to impress people. It's not to look fancy. It's not to show every tool you have or you know, right? Your resume's job is very simple. To survive filters first and get you to an interview call. If you do get to an interview call, that's it. Your probability of getting selected is increased manyfold. And trust me, this is exactly what I focus on when I help people with resume reviews. Make sure the resume actually clears those first filters. Now, let's start with bad AA resumes. How do they look like? First mistake is resume is too long. Okay, some people have 3-page resumes, 4-page resumes. Nobody is reading that. Okay, hiring managers don't even have time to look at it. They scan your resume in like 30 seconds. If your important points are hidden somewhere on page 3, it's gone. If everything looks important, then nothing looks important, right? So I think that's what you need to learn. And second most common mistake is making resume too visual. Like icons, progress bars, there are some fancy Canva templates, multiple columns. Looks very modern, I agree. But ATS systems, most of the companies don't even have advanced visual ATS systems. So they just simply scan the document, get the text out of it. So they can't read it properly. So your resume is getting rejected not because you're weak, but because your software is literally cannot understand your resume. Simple format always beats, fancy design. It's always better to have very text-oriented resume. Third, and the biggest mistake I would say is no JD matching whatsoever. So you are randomly applying for roles and your resume is that constant same resume. So people make one generic resume and apply everywhere, right? But AA engineer, ML engineer, data scientist, these are all different roles and we already talked about in previous videos as well. The JD is asking for deployment, monitoring and evaluation. If it's talking about something else, it doesn't make any sense. The resume and system will filter you out, especially if you think your resume is good for every role you are applying for, because JD matching and JD relevance are very important. Recruiters don't guess what you meant, and honestly, JD alignment is one of the most common things I fix when people send me their resumes. Just small changes, can make a huge difference. Another common issue is wrong ordering. Many resumes, they start with education, certificates and tools. But hiring managers want answers fast. They are looking for someone. They want to know what have you actually built, what have you owned, or what impact you have created, right? If projects and experiences are buried somewhere, your attention is already gone. So your resume is getting filtered again. So now let's talk about one thing that destroys trust instantly, which is fake or exaggerated claims. Even though you do them, if you can't explain them, then that is a deal breaker and you are gone out of the interview, right? If you write something you cannot explain confidently in an interview, like why you did it, how it works, what trade-offs you made, it will collapse. And then the interviewer won't trust you to do anything else. Obviously, he will be stopping the interview then and there, right? One solid, honest project is way better than 5 fake ones, or at least 5 fake ones which you can't explain. This is also why mock interviews are slightly useful sometimes, because you suddenly get stuck somewhere and at least before the actual interview you can learn something. And also, last but not least, grammar and clarity. AA roles require precision normally from the job description perspective itself, right? If your resume has basic grammatical mistakes, vague bullet points, the signal is clearly showing you're showing yourself as someone who is not even focused on your own resume, then obviously this person might be careless in production also. Unfair, but to be honest, that's how hiring works. Now most people don't understand the hiring pipeline. Let me simply explain that pipeline. Okay, basically what happens for you to get selected, what happens before that. So first thing is your resume passes through 4 filters primarily, not always constant, but generally primarily these are the filters. First, ATS and HR tools. These are automated tools that are screening most of the resumes. So this stage checks formatting, keywords, basic role match, as well as your alignment with the responsibilities you have done previously and the responsibilities you are expected to do in future. If you fail here, no human will ever see your resume. I promise you, especially for bigger MNCs. Second, once your resume goes past ATS, recruiter does the scan of your resume. Basically, he's going to visually scan it. So it takes just 10 seconds. Believe me, they check, does this match the role? Is experience clear? Are there any clear red flags? Okay, if it looks confusing or generic, they reject it and they go for next resume. Third, first thing is great that you reach third stage. Very few people reach this. So that is called hiring manager scan. Now this is where depth matters. So managers look for ownership, impact, and real engineering what you have done. They already know what actually AI engineers do, right? So you can't put fluff and all. They will see actual alignment with JD. So buzzwords don't impress. Don't put like I'm hardworking, honest, or whatever XYZ. Last but not least, obviously, interview panel. At this stage, your resume becomes kind of proof that it's your actual proof of your candidature. Every bullet becomes a question. So resume creation is not only about telling what you know and all those things, it's also future planning. And if your bullet points are weak, the interview gonna get very stressful. That's why I always say resume prep and interview prep are not separate things, they're connected, because 90% of questions do come from your own resume. Now, what does a strong AI resume actually look like? First, role clarity. That is, your resume should shout the role you are applying for. Your resume should make it very obvious. Is this person applying for AI engineer, ML engineer, data scientist, research oriented role? Each role expects different things. A confused resume signals, a confused candidate. So try to avoid that. And second, bullet points. They should be very impactful bullet points. So most people write, I built a model using PyTorch. That's okay, but it's not strong. What model? How did it improve certain things, right? So better is I reduced inference latency by 38% by optimizing batching and apply quantization, right? So outcome first, that means what outcome that did you able to achieve, and method second, how did you achieve it, and tools last. That means what tools you have used for that should always be the last one. So that's how strong resumes are written. And when I do resume reviews or even actual interviews that I do regularly, this is one of the biggest upgrades. Rewriting bullets to show real impact. So I am, as a hiring manager or as an interviewer, those bullet points are kind of gold stuff for me. I'm trying those to assess your knowledge. Third, JD alignment, but truthfully, don't do keyword stuffing. Just align your resume language with what the JD is asking. Don't put everything that JD is asking, but try to align it. If JD wants deployment, show deployment at higher level. If JD wants evaluation, show evaluation. How did you evaluate AI models? Simple. So this JD is your actual key to the interview. So if you're forgetting about JD and you're doing your own resume games, it's not going to work. Fourth, which is defendable projects. If you cannot explain a project deeply, it should not be on your resume. I tell to people who connect with me personally regularly, don't put 10 projects, okay? And I ask one question, they don't know what that project is even, right? So one strong project you can talk about confidently beats 5 shallow ones. And if you want practice explaining these projects properly, again, kind of having mock interviews with your seniors or someone who is good at these kind of interviews helps a lot as well. And the biggest mindset shift, your resume is not a summary, it is an interview script. Every line you write controls what you will be asked. Strong bullets lead to conversion into your strengths. Weak bullets invite questions you cannot answer. Right bullets you want to talk about. So that's why I'm telling these bullet points emphasizing about them very heavily, because this is where most of the questions come from. I get frustrated when people put very good bullet points, but they don't know what they are talking about, right? So now let's do quick myth busting. You don't need a master's degree or PhD for most AI engineering roles. And this is a very common question I get. You don't need master's and PhD. For normal AI engineering or even senior level AI engineering roles, it's mostly for research oriented AI roles. Okay. You don't need every tool under the sun. You don't need to stuff your resume with 1,000 tools. And one resume does not fit every job. So use AI. As you know, you are applying for AI engineering role. Use AI, use ChatGPT or something else, and maybe align your resume daily, regularly with JD. Maybe create your own application where you're gonna upload your JD, upload your resume. It rewrites in such a way that it stays truthful and also aligned with JD. How good it would be in your resume. So depth always beats breadth. Clarity bleeds governance. I don't want to repeat them enough. They are very, very important. Okay, final takeaway. Simple, your resume is not your life story. It's a filter passing document. So it's gonna pass certain filters. Its job is to survive those systems, make sense to recruiters, convince hiring managers, and set up strong interviews. Once you are in an interview, it's gonna be much easier than the initial part. If it does that, you win. If it doesn't do it, you lose. And by the way, if you want personal help with this, for example, resume review or JD alignment or mock interview for AI roles, you can reach out to me. Subscribe if you like this video. I will see you in the next one.